Hi there, welcome to the stream. It's Miriam, and I'm back with another founder interview. This time I'm chatting with Lafaya from Sacramento, California, about her journey as an entrepreneur. Hey, Lafaya, how are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Good, good. Well, yeah, it's Friday, so that's good. And I've got a little bit of a lighter weekend than I normally do in terms of work stuff. So the week has been really productive. I'm feeling good today.
And Fridays are just kind of leading me right into the busiest part of my week. And Monday and Tuesday, I'll feel very happy about my, weekend.
Okay. So Friday is the beginning of it's getting big for you.
The busiest time, yes.
Well, thanks for taking time on your Friday, on your Wednesday, whatever, your busy time to chat with me about the QUOKA project and what you do and your journey. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to build the best product possible, and your honest answers to my questions. It really helps me understand what I'm working on. And there's no like right or wrong answers, not a test or anything like that.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I do not. Looking forward to this. This sounds fun.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk a little bit about, you and what brought you to this point in your journey where you are doing this work in our community.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a long story. There's a reason why I call the philosophy that I've developed the Lafaya way, because it is 100% based in my life. So, having grown up as a hypersensitive child myself, just due to trauma history, strong trauma history, I have a unique understanding of those hypersensitivities of others. I learned. Okay, so this was not something that was kind of like immediately apparent to me. As a matter of fact, I was one who would mostly say I didn't like people much, when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like life kept bringing around to me opportunities to work with other people who are sensitive as well. So that's kind of, it really, man, we could go so far back for my beginnings, but I'll just say that before I knew that I was going into mental health kind of found me. Okay. So like my first job when I was like 19 years old was in an in-care home facility for developmentally disabled adult male sex offenders. Okay. And so
Okay.
it was like, it was like full immersion, like right away. I've never had
Yep.
a job that hasn't been related to mental health. So, but then in the context of school, I just I thought I was going to be a nurse, and I took one psychology class, and I was like, okay, I have to take more of those, and then immediately switched majors. So it's like kind of I call it a calling, that I finally was kind of obedient to. I don't know how to say the word, because at first I would kind of fight it, right? So in my work, I'd be especially productive with those who were marked as the most difficult to work with. So if they had been failing treatment, there were a set of psychiatrists and therapists that knew that for the most difficult cases, send them to Lafayette. Just send them, she's like a miracle worker or whatever, right? And that kind of in that my entire caseload kind of grew to be only people who had the most difficult or supposedly most difficult situations that they're dealing with their children. And with me, that's the easiest because I kind of get bored with anything else. But it was like with productive results, everybody said you have to write books, you have to share this information with other people, and all of that. But me being a sensitive person and very rejection sensitive as well, I was like, no way, like I'm not putting myself in front of people, right? And then it was just 1 year. It was finally like, okay, fine. There was another girl that came in. Father came said that a teenager, father said that she had been in treatment for 10 years, failing treatment for 10 years, right? And saying all these things about her that wasn't true at all. She was on the autism spectrum, but she was much higher functioning than he thought, right? So she functioned at the level they thought she was, not at the level of her capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of brought her out, right? And then after that, I was like, you know what? Okay, just I'm so tired of hearing. It took me 15 years. So tired of hearing they've been in treatment for 5 or 10 years and nothing's worked. So I'm gonna share however I'm supposed to do that, the stuff that's inside of me. And once I decided to do it, then everything just kind of started pouring out. And then we have the books, 3 in the parent series so far that have been published. 4 more waiting in the computer, and then the curriculum, the Parents Empowering Parents 12-week curriculum based on the books.
Very, very interesting story, and I love that you call it like, it was a calling for you to get into this work, and you're obedient to it. And yeah, it's something like when you know that, you're able to just wake up every day and you're just like, okay, let's do this work.
Yes. It's very rewarding. Very, very rewarding.
Yeah, and that's exciting. More books coming out. I'm glad that we've met. It's great to be in touch with another author and get to support each other and helping families. And with the numbers, I believe, are increasing, if I hearing correctly, of children on the spectrum. So this work that you're doing is very important.
I don't know if it's so much that the numbers are increasing as much as people are now able to properly diagnose. It took a really long time. So well, you're young. So when when I was many years ago, okay, I would, you could see those kids out there that, you knew they were a little bit different, right? But nobody had a name for it, right? They just, say, oh, they're a little weird or whatever. And now it's more and more. At first, a lot of the kids, there was kind of an overdiagnosing of like ADHD for those on the spectrum as well, because ADHD is a part of the symptomology. It's usually a secondary diagnosis, can't be helped, right? But yeah, often it's missed, especially in girls.
Well, yeah, more people are going to need help, whether now that we're diagnosing properly, the numbers are growing, whatever it is. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Good to know that you're out here helping people with this. Do you belong to any entrepreneur communities within your circles?
I don't. I don't. I don't really have much time to do anything else other than kind of the creation development. Working on what it is that I'm working on. So I've tried to join with other communities, but it's just always end up feeling like I don't have time.
Yeah, okay, yeah, makes total sense. I'm gonna also bring these questions up so we can go through them together. It's just kind of yes or no.
Okay.
Being an entrepreneur is fun.
Yes. And
Being
no.
Yes, no. You tell me.
It's both, but it's more fun than not.
Okay. Would you say it's hard?
Yes.
Would you say that you feel understood as an entrepreneur?
No.
Would you say that you feel listened to as an entrepreneur?
Okay, it's like, what do you mean?
I mean, I guess as you identify as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So you're out there just living your life, being you. Do you feel listened to?
Like other people kind of can understand what it is, or do you mean like what it is I have to say, or what do you mean?
When you are out, not looking at like very specific groups of people, like your family or friends, but just in general, combining all of the people that you're around or even online. And if you are talking about your experience in your life, do you feel like people are actually listening to you?
Man, see, these questions are hard. There should be a maybe sometimes. It is more than five. Look, okay. It's hard to give a yes or no on that one. Because I do feel listened to at times because I'm bringing out a philosophy where people have to actually learn it and take it in and kind of give me feedback. But then other times I don't feel listened to, like when you're trying to do things like market and that kind of thing and bring in new people. It's kind of it's kind of like both. So for those who know me, it's much easier. Yes, I feel listened to. For those who don't, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's just choose one of the other of those.
Okay, listen to. Let's say no.
No. Okay.
Mhm.
Do you feel like the people around you understand your problems and challenges that you face as an entrepreneur?
No.
Is life as an entrepreneur depressing at times?
Yes.
Do you feel pressure as an entrepreneur to be involved in communities online or in person?
Yes.
Do you enjoy helping others and solving problems?
Yes.
When it takes you a few days to reply to someone asking for your help, do you feel guilty?
Yes.
Do you feel pressure to appear to look like you know what you're doing as an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Do you always feel confident that you know what you're doing as an entrepreneur?
Nope.
Do you have people that you can speak to about your deepest thoughts and challenges about being an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable asking for help when you need it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's really helpful. So, what do you like best about being an entrepreneur?
I like the freedom. I like being able to create my own schedule. I like when I say freedom, it's freedom in all ways. So basically, freedom of creation, freedom to run my programs in the way that I see fit. Because I'm very, very interested in making sure that the client is okay, um, and less interested in kind of that bottom line, like some of the places that I've worked for before. More interested in bottom line.
Mhm.
And that's kind of one of the reasons that I decided to become an entrepreneur, because I really need first of all, I need the creative freedom, but I also need the freedom to assist people in whatever way I see fit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about the hard parts, the challenges? What do you like least about this work?
Man, I've never really liked kind of the unknown. And I think when you're an entrepreneur, it's almost like you don't know what's going to work and not. And it's you have to, and I don't know if there's anybody out there who didn't have to fail first, but there has to be a lot of fails in there. So for you to learn, and the word fail is kind of hard for me because it's like kind of learn and you grow, and then that becomes like a stepping stone. So it's the next step, but it doesn't feel like that when you're in it.
Mhm.
um, I have always been more on the, I don't know why I call this the bratty side, but it is. I always want things to work out the optimal, way. Like I don't know. Sometimes I don't have much of an appreciation for the journey as other people do. So I always want it to look like a win. So like a sore loser. Well, sore loser, but it's like mini games in the like long big game of life, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't like that part. It's not fun. um let's see other parts, because I did the job thing. With the job thing, that you have a steady paycheck coming, even though it's like super limited. When you have a job and, like the benefits and all that kind of stuff. So, as an entrepreneur, you have to kind of figure out a new way to get the things that you need. Oh my goodness. Oh, one of the biggest um, is that provability of income can be an extreme challenge. And so, if you want to be an entrepreneur and do things like buy a home, there are so many little tricks to that. And maneuvering through that was definitely not fun. So going from the job world and making way less money to the entrepreneurial world and making a lot more proved to be challenging when it comes to things like, taxes and yeah, and trying to buy things.
Mhm. Totally. If you were giving advice to an aspiring entrepreneur, what would you tell them that they need to have to fulfill their full potential as an entrepreneur?
You have to have serious, like razor like focus, and you have to be willing to keep pushing through even when it is really gets really hard. So you just have to be understand that, this is my goal and nothing's going to stop me.
Yeah. Do you have everything that you need to fulfill your full potential as an entrepreneur?
Do I have everything I need? Yes. Because everything that I need is in me as it expresses, and and I was just having a conversation with myself about that this morning. I was like, okay, it all happens in time. And it's interesting because it has all already happened. It just has to unfold.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm impatient. Like, when's this thing gonna pop off?
right. I feel it. I know it. It's everywhere. Can I see it with my physical eyes?
I'm over here just waiting, just going along. Okay, when you need information, you want to learn something new, you're facing a challenge in your business, where do you go for the answer?
Oh man. It's interesting because usually when I seek something, like when I'm like, oh, okay, I need this information or I need that information, then kind of, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then life kind of brings that around to me. It's like, for example, when I was getting into writing the books, right? I don't know how to write a book. I didn't want to write a book. I was very resistant.
Mhm.
And so, but once I let the information pour out, then and I share with my friends because I have a good friend community. Um, Share with my friends, hey, I just emptied out this whole 60,000 word document right out of my head, right? Like, and I don't know what to do with it. Then they're like, hey, try my friend this, right? The book creator. And so it's like when you have an intention and you kind of set it out there and you move forward in it, then it really is that you just kind of speak on it. So that's what I do. I reach out to friends. I reach out to because it's weird because I don't belong to a community per se, but I have kind of built my own home community of friend entrepreneurs. So I think I reach out to them.
Excellent. And just let the universe do its work.
Hmm. And it does.
How much time does it typically take to get that to you?
Man, okay, so it depends because it can happen very quickly or it can take a long time. So and I say that because sometimes there's more resistance, there are more things in the way. Um and that's our own mental blocks. And sometimes there's very little resistance in the way, and it's something that can happen like right away. So when I decided to say, okay, fine, I'll write the books, it took me 2 weeks to pour that document out of my head. And it was like day and night awake, basically paper and pad because I'm super old school next to me at night, so that when I would wake up and all the ideas would be pouring out, I could just write until my cousin told me, can you just put the computer next to you, because it's eventually gonna go in there anyway. So I was like, oh, good idea. I'm talking about pulling over on the road, having to write down ideas that I don't want to get lost, and like all kinds of stuff. But when a decision is made, it happens. With the books, from like concept to actually having them published, it took about 3 months for the first book. Second book, it was a month later. Third book, it was a couple of months later. Like, it worked out just like that.
Mm-hmm. Flowed out.
Yeah, then I was like, okay, just slow down now, because all of it was based on the original document. So I was like, okay, now just slow down, do something with the 3, and then produce the rest.
Right.
Make them pretty, because the words are there, it's just not pretty.
Well, we're at 30 minutes here. I want to do a time check with how your morning is flowing. I know you have a busy time ahead.
I have about 10 more minutes before I'll have to be like running.
Okay, let's go into some things about your mental health here. How would you rate your mental health on a scale from 0 to 10?
With 10 being very good.
Yeah.
Okay, my mental health, I would put myself at about 7.
Okay. How does that make you feel that you rated yourself a 7?
Well, I feel pretty good about it. I think rating myself a 7 is like it's a 10. I like being, needing work. Knowing that I need work.
Out of these items, which ones are negatively impacted when you feel less than great mentally?
Wait, most impacted?
You can choose as many as you want.
Oh, negatively impacted.
Yeah.
When you feel less than great. Okay, negatively feel less than great. Okay. Negatively impacted. Sleep. Confidence. And eating habits.
Okay. Let's rate whether each of these items have a positive, negative, or no effect on your mental health. Social media.
It really doesn't have any effect on me. I don't spend much time on it.
The news.
Oh, no effect. I don't watch it.
Family.
Positive.
Friendships.
Oh, wait, which family? Like my close? Now, the family that I've created is fantastic. My other family, I love them, but man, friendships, positive effect.
Work.
Positive effect.
Volunteering.
Positive. Sure.
Romantic relationships.
Positive. I have a very supportive husband.
Which has the most positive effect on your mental health out of those?
Most, I would say, romantic relationship.
Okay. How many hours a week do you spend engaging in your romantic relationship?
Oh man, we're like kind of connected at the hip. Let's see. Hours. You say hours per day, per week?
Per week.
Engaging in activity that has the most positive effect on your mental health. Oh man, hours per week. That's an interesting question. Many hours. We spend so much time, like we work together. We spend so much time together. So I don't know how to answer that, like a lot.
80 hours?
Man, per week, per day. Let me think about per day.
Okay.
They were always kind of coming together. So, and always sending messages to each other. Man, Okay, I would say at least a good 5 or 6 hours per day. So then I put it at like 7 days a week. I put it at about times 7, 42. It's probably more, but that's good. We got to do other stuff.
What do you do to help support or manage your mental health?
What do I do?
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm very much into self care. So when I'm having a tough time, like I said, I have trauma history, so I have kind of embedded anxiety. So I'll listen to affirmations, nighttime meditations, um, and I will take naps when I'm tired now, especially because when I was younger I didn't need naps. Now that I'm older, I need naps.
Mhm.
Um, I I spend a lot of time. I'm like a humongous kid, so I spend a lot of time like kind of. And both my husband and I think we're both like huge kids, but then we're like kid grown up, like switch on. But we spend a lot of time taking care of each other. So like just a lot of time, like massages and just sweetness and hugs and that. So I get a lot of strength from that, and then just hanging out with my kids because they're freaking fantastic. So that part, hanging out with them and doing fun stuff. That's also I think that helps me stay, you know, stay well as well.
Mhm. Do you use any applications or websites to help support or manage your mental health?
Um, I just it's mostly YouTube. I say YouTube is a big supporter of my mental health because I can look up anything like affirmations for anxiety, like affirmations for feeling happy, or whatever, and it gives me whatever I want, and the music I want too. Oh,
Right.
listening to music is also very uplifting for me.
I agree. Okay. Well, we are coming to the 10 minutes. So I'm just marking off some of these things here. When thinking about the mental health of people that you know, how do you think most of them would rate their mental health on a scale from 0 to 10?
Most of the people I know, like personal no or work no.
Um, Across both.
Oh man, because I'm in the mental health field, that's a lot of people not feeling good. Right now, especially with the COVID pandemic, there's a lot of people right now that aren't feeling good. So those who maybe never experienced strong anxiety are experiencing strong anxiety right now, and depression. And those who were experiencing it, it's like more pronounced. So right now, I would say, there's a lot of people out there having a very difficult time mentally,
Hmm.
and they
Hmm.
don't have a great support system. That often people don't have great support systems.
Right. So maybe would you say 6, 5, lower,
On a scale of 0 to 10,
0 to? Hmm.
I would say I would put it high at like same 7, maybe 8, because it's high. People are not doing well right now, even the professionals.
Just to make sure, so you think that most people would rate themselves at a 7?
Right now,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Do you want to be added to my mailing list?
Sure.
Okay. You can unsubscribe at any time if you. Yeah. All righty. Well, thank you so much for participating in my user research and founder survey. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this. Is there anything I can do to support what you're working on?
Um, I don't. If you find people that are in need of improvements in their relationships, and
Mhm.
it seems like there's something going on, with one or the other, relating. someone relating to another, whether it be on the job, couples, parents or whatever, then the Lafaya way is an advanced relational philosophy. So, you can send them my way so they can find out more information. But the core 4 steps, they work. They change lives. They change relationships. So, if you hear about it, share.
And do we want to bullet those out before we close, the 4 steps, or?
Now, if I get into the 4 steps, that's going to take me a whole other 30 minutes. But so look on the website or check me out on youtube.com/LafayaWay, because seriously, I break down the steps, and when I get into it, then it's like I don't want to just give you a step and not tell you how and why, and because I have to give you everything. It bugs me when I don't. So that'd be a whole other interview.
Yeah, let me put up that website too, so that people can check it out. LafayaWay.com. So people can go check that out and connect with Lafaya, pick up one of her books. She's giving away a free chapter as well for those of you that want to just take a peek first. And we have a lot of resources that she shared in the description of the video, and we'll put it in the notes for this podcast episode when that comes out. So thank you so much again for making time to chat with me this morning. Have a good rest of your week, and
yes, you too.
Keep in touch.
Yes, it's so awesome what you're doing. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, have a wonderful day.
Bye.